So, the idea of this series began with a simple reel I happened to watch one day. But the more I sat with it, the more I realized that this series is not really about only practices around tarot, astrology, numerology, or any such practices. I think this series it's about us. For years I have been around these practices in different ways. Like I have explored some of them myself. I've watched people around me rely on them, question them, reflected on them, and slowly tried to understand what role these practices actually play in our lives. And one thing became increasingly clear to me, that human beings have always searched for meaning. Like sometimes we find that meaning in stories we watch or read, sometimes in religion, sometimes in nature, sometimes in our dreams, and sometimes in practices like astrology, tarot, or numerology, or any such practice. But I don't think our search for meaning is the real problem here. The question that really interests me is that what happens after we begin that search? Do these things help us become more aware of ourselves, or do they just slowly replace our ability to think, choose, or trust ourselves? I have realized that almost everything around us can become a mirror. Be it a conversation, a book, a movie, a web series, or just a bird sitting quietly outside your window in your balcony. Wind, breeze, the sky of all shades, a dream that stays with you all day, or a tarot card, or an astrological chart, or some numerological calculation, or anything. Like each one of these can invite us to actually pause and notice something that we weren't seeing before. But somewhere along the way, when we are observing these things, many of us just stop using these things as mirrors and begin treating them as authorities. We just stop asking ourselves that what does this particular thing is helping me notice, the patterns it is teaching me about me, and we just start asking, what should I do? What should I do? And that shift of question, no, that changes everything. Personally, I no longer think the biggest question is whether these practices are right or wrong, or I am in approval or disapproval of that, or if I am telling anyone to believe it or stop believing in it. That is not my question here or in this series. The bigger question is whether they are helping us in becoming more conscious, more responsible, more honest, more authentic with ourselves, or whether they are just becoming another place where we just hand over our power because uncertainty feels too painful, and therefore we search for certainty in these practices. So, as I said, this series isn't here to prove or disapprove anything. So, please don't come back at me in comments for either for or against. I don't want either of those. This series here isn't to predict anyone's future. Also, it isn't here to tell you what to believe and what not to believe. It's simply an invitation. It's simply a space to explore a question that has stayed with me for a very long time. Like, can anything outside of us truly replace the quiet work of self-reflection? And my own answer to this question has become no. Life offers us countless mirrors, but every mirror we have eventually asks us the same thing. And now that question is, that mirror tells us that now that you have seen something, what will you choose to do with it? And that's what this series is about. So I will be posting episodes as they come. Even I don't know what I will be saying in it, but I think this is something I want to say, and it's worth sharing.